Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To jump right into it, there's a lot going on for some reason this week. I'm not exactly sure why. To start things off, on the latest episode of John McAfee Says, the tech activist and internet security expert declared that there is an ongoing war against cryptocurrencies. He aired this revelation in a video posted on his Twitter on May 27th. According to McAfee, powerful forces are trying to derail the progress of the cryptocurrency revolution. McAfee began by unequivocally stating that the reality on the ongoing fight. He said, whether you know it or not, there's a war against cryptos. It is in fact a war. I'm not going to play the actual video of him saying that. He listed the government, banks, credit card companies, and the SEC as some of the enemy combatants. These institutions have banded together to quell the relentless march of progress represented by the crypto renaissance. McAfee's warnings may have merit as banks and credit card companies have recently started withdrawing support for cryptocurrency payments, while government and regulatory bodies like the SEC are also trying to abscond with cryptos as securities. He then urged all fellow crypto believers to take action, saying, "What can we do? Take action. Write your congressman. It sounds silly, but while they are in power, make them work. Go into your bank and demand that they allow crypto transactions. If they say no, ask them to recommend a bank that will. Demand the credit card companies to allow crypto payments." According to McAfee, change will only come when crypto enthusiasts become proactive and take matters into their own hands. He urged them to write the SEC, strongly calling on the commission to not classify cryptocurrencies as securities. He said, "We are not a security. We are coins. We are currency. They are frightened of us." A couple of things. I know a lot of people don't care for John McAfee, and he's had his John McAfee ways in the past. But I've actually never agreed with him more than what he's saying right now. I don't know how many people have realized it, whether we take adoption into consideration as far as the banks that are trying to use us, the countries that are slowly warming up to not only blockchain, but also to cryptocurrencies. There's something that's happening, and it pretty much comes down to, like he said, I know it sounds silly, and I'm sure a lot of people, even when they heard me reading what he said, probably laughed or chuckled to themselves or thought that sounds ridiculous. But these people, especially if you live in the US, these people work for you. It's not the other way around. The laws are made because people don't fight back against what's being proposed by these people in power. A lot of people who are into cryptocurrencies, it's very sad to say, like I've said, the entire idea of this cryptocurrency utopia, this Bitcoin world where everything is safe and wonderful and utopian and the world just exists on Bitcoin, is completely gone as the years have completely gone on. I don't know, it's just kind of a lot. You have to take a stance as well. So many people are in the market just because of money. While money is great and money, keeps the world going round, this won't be successful unless you actually get on to actually doing something yourselves. It's the same exact thing where I said before, when people get upset that their coin or their project that they believe in isn't moving forward, and they go, why isn't this moving forward? I tell you, when you go into a restaurant, when you go into a cafe, ask them, do they take Bitcoin? Do you take Litecoin? Do you take Ethereum? Do you take Ripple? Have you guys heard about Cardano? It helps to move the progress forward. A lot of people are in this cryptocurrency space and they don't do anything. It helps a lot if you tell your friends, if you tell your families. You may sound crazy to them. It doesn't even matter, as long as you're passing on the information, as long as you find a way to become active in the community as well. This is not going to succeed unless we all do something. The fact that they are it's the same exact thing, not to ramble too long on this, the same exact thing in 2008 when the entire financial collapse happened, and banks had armed guards outside of the banks, and they weren't allowing people to take their money. Do you know why this happened? Because everyone kind of fell in line and they said, okay, this is totally fine. Well, the bank must have a reason for this. It's all, I don't know. Like I said, I completely agree with what he says, and I sadly don't think that crypto as it is now will last for much longer. I think it's going to become something that is controlled by banks and controlled by Wall Street, because no one in the actual crypto space, except for maybe the developers and people as wacky as John McAfee are actually doing anything to actually talk about it. When you look at other cryptocurrency channels, not to say that mine is like this, know-all channel, but everyone is just talking about like hyping up coins and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with bringing the community together, and it's kind of frustrating because in the end, there's so many people, when you read around online, people talk about, the future of cryptocurrencies. They talk about dumping coins after a year. Yeah, I'm definitely going to dump this. It becomes this market where we're playing into the hands of the people who already don't like cryptocurrencies. These people are already doing everything that they can to manipulate the prices, push the prices down, stop you from being able to buy it. And when everyone else who's actually in the cryptocurrency space is leading right along with them, and they literally only talk about, yeah, I plan on dumping Bitcoin when it hits this. I plan on doing so and so. This is I'm in this for the long term. This is why I continue to make these videos, because I do believe in this space. But a lot of people, I think, either have to get with it or I don't know. I feel like we're at some type of a crossroads, especially with all the regulation and stuff going on. And the only people who are really doing anything are like the lawyers who are trying to make sure that Ethereum isn't a security. Everyone else is kind of sitting back. If you are in the States, if you have know-how or power, or if you know a lawyer or someone who can look through the law, like start making sure that you are also helping this space move forward, because in the end, when all of this does eventually work out, you will be one of the people who is actually holding the bag of money because you helped this entire ecosystem continue to thrive. Didn't mean to spend so much time on this, but I read this and I was like, he may be a bit out there sometimes, but he definitely makes sense sometimes when he says certain things. Continuing on, South Korea is in the news today. Nearly 8 months after a blanket ban on ICOs, South Korea's National Assembly has reportedly made an official recommendation to allow domestic ICOs in the country. According to a report by Business Korea on Tuesday, the 300-member national legislature has made an official proposal to allow domestic ICOs in the country by preparing and adhering to relevant investor protection provisions. The National Assembly's Special Committee on the Fourth Industrial Revolution even accused the government of neglecting its duty in responding to the blockchain sector, the report suggests. The much publicized ICO bans by Korea and China before it even has seen an exodus of domestic companies going to friendlier jurisdictions in Singapore and Switzerland to conduct ICOs. Like I said before, these countries are going to thrive because they see what's coming. They see exactly what's going on, but it's nice to hear that South Korea is kind of getting in on it as well. Discussions on blockchain and ICOs between the National Assembly and the government will accelerate, the report suggests. More pointedly, the National Assembly has put forward a legislative and policy proposal to recommend allowing ICOs. The Committee of the Fourth Industrial Revolution also called on the government to form a task force comprising of both public and private experts to improve transparency of cryptocurrency trading and establish a healthy trade order. This is good, great. I'm glad that they are allowing ICOs. I knew they were eventually going to allow ICOs, but it just kind of makes the entire thing about them talking about banning cryptos and then banning ICOs in the country. It's kind of like, come on, you knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew none of this was actually going to be banned. South Korea is monster of a market when it comes to cryptocurrency space. Not entire negative news. Any negative news that we've gotten out of South Korea, I think has kind of put like a hamper on the price movements that could have potentially gone up. And the entire thing that happened with Japan as well, where I think they were not raiding exchanges, but they were coming down hard on them, talking about you have to do this and X, Y, and Z. I think this is also contributing to the reason why part of the market is going down. I'm still not sure why these two relatively tiny nations land-wise controlling the entire market and no one else is really jumping into it. But I guess only time will tell. I assume in 5 years we're going to have reports on exactly what was going on in the countries and why these technologies took off there as opposed to other places in the West. Lightning Network is once again in the news. Bitcoin's Lightning Network may be just starting to send transactions over the blockchain, but already its developers are looking to re-architect the technology. That's because while touted as a way to significantly boost Bitcoin's capacity, the network itself does require users to store a significant amount of data, which makes it difficult to download and run. As such, several Lightning developers, Lightning Labs co-founder Laulu Osuntokun, and Blockstream's Christian Decker and Rusty Russell have published a new proposal which imagines an alternative, simplified way of making off-chain transactions called L2, that is ELTOO. But the new proposal isn't only about condensing the amount of data users need to store, it also is about keeping users' cryptocurrency safe. For instance, all this data poses another problem in that if users accidentally broadcast older data, they might lose money. As such, this data has been called toxic information. L2, on the other hand, only stores the most recent off-chain transaction data, solving the well-known information asymmetry problem. That is, if something happens to the device you're running your Lightning app on, say your smartphone, you might lose access to the whole history of data. They say with L2, we reduce the risk of funds being swept away. We remove this toxic information, said Decker, who noted the proposal's name is a joke of sorts. The phonetic spelling of L2, as in the letter L and number 2, which stands for layer 2, what many people call technology like Lightning that pushes transactions off chain. In around 2013, if you were around back then, we had a really big problem when it came to people don't realize how great wallets are now. Some of the original Bitcoin wallets that we had, I think one came from the original website, if I'm not mistaken. When you opened the desktop app to load, you had to download the entire blockchain, and it was the worst thing in the entire world. At certain months and periods, there was no movement, in the prices. So no one was really checking it, on a daily basis like we kind of do now. So if you hadn't used your wallet for about 6-7 weeks and you opened it up, you had to download the blockchain for the last 6 to 7 weeks, and it would literally take about a day and a half sometimes. So this is kind of what I think they're also doing. They're going to be simplifying and kind of squeezing it down to only the necessary information. If you're using the Lightning Network, unless you are doing something like heavy or specific, you don't need the last 38 months worth of information to be downloaded to your computer at the exact same time. So this seems like it would be a quicker way to accelerate the usage of it as well, because to be realistic, no one is going to want to sit there to download months of transactions, especially if you ever, let's say you got into Bitcoin in 2015, you literally had to download the entirety of the blockchain. Like sometimes if you were downloading a new coin, whatever coin, let's say you were downloading Litecoin for the first time, it would literally say at the bottom of the wallet, there used to be an area around here where it would say how much time was left. It would literally say 99 months left of downloading. It was always something ridiculous, and you had to sit there with your computer open for days at a time in order to do this. So it's good to hear, like I said, once again, that Lightning is still moving forward, even though it won't be fully implemented for about 2 years. But I give it about, next summer, I think it'll be a lot farther than it definitely is right now. Here we go. This is kind of the craziest thing that I think I've read in a while, but it still fits into all the other stuff. I think people are looking for a way to justify what in the world is happening in the market, because everyone at this point is just beyond perplexed. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin questioned the authenticity of the Rothschild or Rothschild, depending on how you want to pronounce it, banking empire after rumors emerged of its plan to enter the cryptocurrency market. In various posts in the Reddit Ethereum subreddit on May 26, Buterin focused on the potential impact of the Rothschild's IMMO project, adopting a critical perspective about their presence as a market force. He said, are the Rothschilds even well coordinated enough to be worth caring about as a group these days? He queried on Reddit. He said, if old money type high society people want to make their own currencies, go ahead, more power to them. See you in the moderately free market. Reports about IMMO first surfaced in the local cryptocurrency industry press last week. While all information is based on rumors and leaked information, it is thought the Rothschilds plan to create a Tether-like stablecoin, which its creators would tie to gold or similar commodities. Other theories tie the IMMO to The Economist, a publication which first floated the concept of a world currency in the late 1980s, and which is also owned by the Rothschild. There's a video online, I can't remember, if some other crypto YouTuber. He doesn't even make videos that often, but when you see some really weird things on your YouTube page and you'll click on it. I clicked on it, and it was interesting to say the least. It was a video about this exact article that they're talking about. There was an issue from the 1980s. It had to be 1989 or something like that. It was a photo of an eagle that was holding on to like a golden coin or something like that. And it had something to do with like a digital revolution. A lot of people believe that, I can't even laugh because at this point we really don't know, that cryptocurrency was created by, I think, like the CIA, the US government, the Rothschild family, and someone else, and this is all their major plan in order to bring about a one world currency. They're using Bitcoin as like a test subject, if you will, like to see exactly how people deal with the idea of a digital currency that they cannot touch. The idea of them creating a stable coin, if it does happen, won't surprise me one bit, simply because of what we have seen from the people behind Tether. When you, how do I even, if someone created something that allowed them to print billions of dollars without anyone checking in on them, that's going to be a major market. And this is still why I believe the forthcoming stablecoin revolution that is going to take place is going to completely change the way that we view cryptocurrencies, because I think there's like 5 of them that are coming out relatively soon. So it's going to be if them printing out Tether caused the price of Bitcoin to rise exponentially, because every single time they print Tether, the price of the cryptocurrency market rises. What happens when you then have 7 other stablecoins, and when you have one that is potentially made by the Rothschild family? It's all very odd. I've seen a lot of conspiracy theories when it comes to cryptocurrencies. The sad part is we'll never even know if they're true. There's so many conspiracy theories out there that seem real, some of them that seem kind of crazy. But I think when you're talking about potentially a multi-trillion-dollar market, I really think that anything in the world is possible. Next up, Cardano is in the news. Today, Charles Hoskin announced the release of Cardano 1.2 via Twitter. In his recent video, he spoke about the updates and the process of the upgrades of Cardano 1.2, the CL testnet, stake pools, and delegation. The CEO of Cardano, ADA, attached a screenshot in his tweet where he shared the information of the release time of the upgrade. Cardano 1.2/0.10.0 released the updated proposal to the mainnet has been accepted around 20 minutes after midnight on UTC on Tuesday. The update will take action around 12:20 in the afternoon UTC. They have also updated the website JSON metadata, which enables the users to download and install the latest version. I'm not going to go through exactly what the update entails, because there's always a lot of things that we probably don't understand ourselves, but a lot of things that are typically necessary, and this is why they are updates. At the moment, Cardano is actually the only coin that is going up, and I assume it's on the news of this latest release. For some odd reason, market is still going down. Even weirder is the price of EOS and Tron, which continue to go down. EOS is actually in the news, which I'm going to get to in a couple of minutes, I hope. And there's a lot going on, guys. Like, I have, between the podcast, between the videos I've been watching, between the articles, between the information of what people think is happening, between the news from the Department of Justice about the manipulation of the market, I was going to completely go off on a tangent. I'm interested in seeing 10 to 15 years from now, when we have books written about Bitcoin, when we have books written about the beginning of the cryptocurrency market. I can't wait to read these books, because the stuff that we're going to find out is absolutely insane. Not only is there a war against cryptocurrencies, there's a war within the top 10 coins that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people, there is some type of harmony when it comes to certain projects, in that a lot of these people are actually working with the similar projects and stuff like that, going up to the number like 20, maybe 30 coin. They actually all work together. A lot of these people know each other. But when it comes to making sure your chain survives and that your coin is number one, there's a lot of wicked stuff going on behind the scenes right now. Okay, I'm just going to go for it so I can actually get to what I'm talking about. First up, China is in the news once again. China expects to have its National Blockchain Standardization Committee in place before the end of this year. This is according to an official from the country's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. I think that all rhymed. In a keynote speech at the 2018 Guiyang Big Data Expo on Saturday, Li Ying, head of the IT Ministry's Information and Software Department, said the committee's structure will be based on that of TC307, a counterparty blockchain commission under the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. The plan is to have a comprehensive framework for blockchain standards complete by the end of 2018. She added, confirming a plan announced by Chinese government officials earlier this month. Li said, "We have been working closely with the ISO in the International Telecommunication Union, the ITU. We should soon have our National Technical Committee for Blockchain Standardization ready within this year." I am almost certain at this point that China is definitely going to allow ICOs in a sandbox fashion in which they can, view and see exactly what's going on. But I'm going to assume that they're also going to allow cryptocurrencies, but not the ones that we are expecting. I think they will make sure that when they do allow certain cryptocurrencies, that exchanges will be able to only hold, I'm going to say, between 10 to 15 coins. And that's like hyper conservative, because I have a feeling they'll make sure that they start out with the coins that they trust, the blockchains that they can track, and they're going to make sure that the crypto exchanges that are active, that they are literally scrutinized every 24 hours so they know exactly what's going on, so there's no money laundering or anything else going on. But they're also going to make sure that they have like a daily limit of how much they can send back and forth, and then eventually they'll slowly add more coins. This is all because China has a very strong partnership with the people behind the Neo coin, decentralized, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. They have a very tight partnership, and they've announced before that they planned on using Neo, and they've just been very warm to the idea of Neo. I don't think they'll only allow Neo within the country, but I foresee a future where they possibly have Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP. Ethereum is trying to make themselves more private, so I think that could also kind of be pushed to the side. Neo and possibly a couple other coins, like coins that can be tracked. And I wouldn't be shocked either if in 3 to 5 years from now, if Bitcoin or any of these other coins start having like some type of privacy layer, that we get news from China that they are delisting these coins. Just how I kind of feel about it. But I'm pretty sure that when China is allowed to get back into the cryptocurrency market, this will also be another major boost in the prices. Here we go. Okay, so back to what I was talking about, the nefarious nature of exactly what's going on in the cryptocurrency world. The price of Ethereum has fallen. This was yesterday. It says today, May 28th, with tech site Trust Nodes blaming the drop in Ethereum on a large sale of Ethereum on crypto exchange Bitfinex that is also attributed to EOS or EOS. Scrolling down a tiny bit. Earlier this month, Trust Nodes reported that EOS spent around $950 million in Ether over the previous 30 days, according to a third-party analyst of data from crypto data feed Sentiment. Today, Trust Nodes writes that around 180,000 Ethereum was traded in 1 hour on Bitfinex, as opposed to the 20,000 Ethereum per hour usually recorded by Bitfinex in exchanges DDAX and OKEX. Trust Nodes suggests that EOS is the party trading the large amount of Ether, as they note that EOS has spent $1 million in Ethereum in 4 days ago, and today the number is raised to around $1.4 million. Etherscan shows the wallet address marked as EOS crowd sale still has around 200,000 Ethereum, and wallet address marked EOS owner around 960,000, together equaling over 1.1 million Ethereum. According to data from CoinMarketCap, Bitfinex has traded around $239 million in Ethereum over a 24-hour period of press time, while OKEX is less than half of that at around $104 million and Huobi at around $98 million. Where do I begin? For those who do not know or have never heard this phrase, it's not used as much anymore. If you got into EOS, when it first started popping up, people called it the Ethereum killer. You can hear this sometimes floating around. The idea was a year ago, so this was a year-long ICO. It literally ends in like 2 days, depending on when you might be listening to this. It ends on June 1st. When this first started and they called themselves the Ethereum killer, people put two and two together very quick because they noted that not only was Ethereum, EOS touting itself as a way to something that was better than Ethereum, that was quicker, that was faster. It was also thrown around that they would be the platform that coins would start moving to when they launched, which is already happening. These coins are already leaving Ethereum. Along with this, during their year-long ICO that EOS had, they were only accepting Ethereum for the ICO, the crowd sale, whatever you want to call it. They had, and they still have, 1.2 million Ethereum. We saw the effects that the market had with Bitcoin when they were selling. How much was it? The guy from Mt. Gox sold off, what was it? $100 million worth, 200, and et cetera, kept on going on. And that's with Bitcoin having a relatively larger market cap. If all of this is true, a lot of people think that it is, there's speculation out there that on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of June, before the EOS mainnet launches, that the people behind EOS will completely start dumping all of their Ethereum that they have into the market because people have been checking their wallets and their money's on the move and they're putting it onto exchanges. If you kind of see where this is going, I am certain, without a shadow of a doubt. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to plug the computer in. Sorry about that. I figured the battery was going to start dying at some point. I am a firm believer, or I think with numbers in my head, EOS should have definitely passed by Bitcoin Cash at this point. Even if you just look at the daily volume, at one point EOS's daily volume was around $3 billion. And this is when the price was going up. The price of Bitcoin started falling and this pushed everything back down. But for some reason, the most hyped coins at the moment are still being pushed down further than everything else, which you can kind of speculate or see kind of where this is going. By the time EOS launches, if the success of the launch is complete on the 3rd and they actually form a blockchain with 15% of the network like they need, I am certain this boost in morale will push it past Bitcoin Cash with relative ease. At that point, it is only, even at the moment, this is $7 billion away. I know it sounds like a lot of money. I think EOS, if this momentum continues, especially because like I said before, all of these airdrops are coming for EOS. It's going to get to a point where people are just buying EOS simply not even realizing that there was a mainnet launch, but because they want the coins, they'll see the hype, they'll see the price going up. FOMO is going to set in, and people are going to realize that there are tons of airdrops coming within the next couple of weeks. It's going to pass by Ripple. This is just the way that I see it in my head. And between this 3 and 4 day period, if everything that I just said is actually happening, if this article is correct, if this moving of 1.2 million Ether is actually correct and they're moving it onto exchanges, if they dumped 1.2 million Ethereum into the market on the exact same day over the course of 3 days, it doesn't even matter. This will start to fall dramatically. It won't hit zero. I don't think the price will turn to dust like I thought before. It'll see a huge amount of panic selling and people will try to figure out why. And people because people don't really, not that they don't pay attention. Humans are still animals. We follow the fear. If everyone else is selling, they're going to start to sell as well. I don't know if they have this. Completely forgot about this. The Ethereum team also has a $1 billion war chest on the side, comprised of companies and organizations who have said that they are going to spend $1 billion to promote EOS and to build apps on top of it. And there's so much underground talk of these companies who are merging with them, who are looking to get into them. If they dump this amount of Ethereum, EOS could then become the number 2 coin, which could potentially destabilize the entire cryptocurrency space. Like I said, This is all a theory, but I've been reading about this for the past couple of days, and I thought about this a couple of months ago as well, when there was like rumors about how many Ethereum the EOS team was holding. And the fact that these funds are on the move is kind of indicative. We have 2 days before the ICO is over. If something really big doesn't happen, I'm going to be shocked. Like, you can't even imagine. Like, my brain is firing off neurons, and like it's going absolutely insane right now. Something big is going to happen, and I think it's something that we can't even begin to imagine. I think within the next week, by let's say next Wednesday, not this upcoming Wednesday, next Wednesday, EOS may have already passed by Ripple, and if the sell-off has started, unless they plan on actually using that Ethereum and being nice people, something crazy is going to happen. Didn't mean to spend too much time on this topic, but it's been floating around for quite some time now, and I tried not to really get into it until I saw a whole bunch of articles that were also talking about it. The theory goes that if they do sell all of this Ethereum and the price does collapse, this is going to be another pivotal movement for Ethereum, because the price will be so low that people will start buying into it, that the people who have been standing on the sidelines waiting for the price of Ethereum to go lower will then get into it. And it's going to become this digital battle, if you will, between EOS and Ethereum. How crazy would it be if on the 3rd of June, that Vitalik Buterin announces that they have finally finished Casper and Plasma? What would that do to the market? It's all very exciting. I don't know. I find this all quite interesting. I have no more to say. My brain's completely tapped out. It's just all... This entire market is really crazy. Like I said, I'm waiting for the next 5 to 10 years when we know for a fact exactly what was happening, and we get, like, candid interviews from Vitalik and all these other people who are talking about them working together and, what they did to this coin and stuff like that. I don't know. It's all very exciting to me. Alrighty, everyone. That is 1000% going to do it for this video. I'm exhausted. This was absolutely crazy. And this isn't even all the news. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much news about manipulation in other countries, acceptance and stuff like that, and what they plan on doing and how they're integrating blockchain. It's just a lot going on. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you once again for all the support. I appreciate it so much. I hope you guys have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's amazing. Thank you for the last time, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.